guys, and welcome back to another Building Kashik weekly segment, guys. And this time we are on week 6. Again, we are just flying by with these weeks. I'm really excited. And guys, we are on design part 2. So very cool. Again, we're going to be talking about the more base part of the back part of the mock. So we're going to just definitely dive into some of the details. I did finish building the frontal wall of the Kashyyyk wall, as I had previously mentioned last segment. And also something funny, during the last week, I was actually finally able to find the dark brown version of this bendable plastic tubing, and so I have some of that for the wall, and it looks definitely really cool on it. We'll get into the details of that later in the video. So very cool things. Also, I don't know if you could tell sort of on this side behind me, guys. You can also tell that I did a lot of work cleaning wise. You know, something I also want to mention, guys, is that having a clean and walkable workspace around your mock is actually very key. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot harder to build things. So I've completely made it so I can walk around the entire table, get to wherever I need on the mock, and so that's really important. I've also tried to organize the parts so I know where everything is at. I have quite a bit of Lego, and so when it gets to the point where you have so much that you don't know where it is, then you need to go back and really look at yourself and say, you know, oh, okay, yeah, that needs to be organized. So, yeah, it's an important thing that you keep all your Lego organized, or at least where you know where it is, and what's in what and what's in that. That way you can, if you need a piece, and you're like, do I have that piece? Do I need to order on Bricklink? You know where it is if you do have it. So it's important that you definitely organize. I think we'll definitely talk about that later in a couple segments in the future. Not in this segment in detail, but it will be a segment in detail where we go over organization and how we keep our parts from being mixed up with others. That will definitely be a full segment, and we'll get to that later. But again, guys, we were talking about more design. I have found a lot of great plays over the last week, and I'm really happy to share with some of the stuff I was able to find. And so we're going to definitely dive into some really good details of design. And without ado, guys, let's get right into that right now. Alright, guys, getting into, again, design part 2. Very cool. So, you know, looking at this right here, again, I wanted to do that crane, but you know, kind of have like that area where it kind of comes off. And you know, let's see if I can show you. Here's what I've come up with so far. It's very rough. It's not going to look like this probably at all in the end, but it gives me an idea where the crane is going to be on each end and see how wide this needs to be. My goal is to actually put a gunship between the crane. It is possible, but it can't. I feel like if I make it any wider for the wings not to interfere with the crane, it's just going to overlap and get into more space, especially because the crane is going to continue probably all the way to here. It's going to continue a lot more into it. It's obviously not going to be here, but there is going to be an open space for it. So again, it's got me confused because my original design, I had it locked in this thing right here, and for that to be throughout the base down here, I don't know if that's going to work. Again, my original concept was for this thing just to ride along the actual surface, so that may be actually what I end up doing, and just put grooves in for these wheels to light again. I mean, it's obviously going to be able to do that. However, I think I'd rather have it do that than it itself be locked in. I may actually experiment on that design, whether I should lock the crane into something like that is what I'm talking about, or leave it exposed like this. Now, I'm probably actually going to use these dark gray pieces right here, not the black, but I've run out of dark gray. They're very hard to get your hands on, so right now I'm very running short, but it does give me an idea of what I want to do. And as you can see, the gunship does fit between, you have to imagine there's going to be a second one of these right here. So you have to imagine that, and yeah. So seeing that, the crane is going to be perfect. It's going to, it's going to go across here. It's going to look good.
but you know, the crane technically is not going to be able to, it's going to run into the gunship if I'm ever moving it. So, you know, obviously maybe the gunship can maybe back its way out and then fly off like that. We can make it work like that. But I feel like if I make it any wider, it's just going to take up more space that we could use for other things than just this. Let me know in the comments, guys, whether you think I should leave it the way it is or should I widen it. That's something I want you guys to leave me in the comments. I'm not sure what I want to do for that. Again, I'll give you like a aerial view of what it's kind of looking like. But yeah. Anyhow, it's just a rough design. It's not gonna look like this at all. Again, this is the sketch. I have lots of ideas for the stuff I want to do down here. This is only the beginning. We're just barely touching on this thing right here. Right. So anyhow, some other things I actually dug up. Those of you who really follow my channel will remember I made a mock way back when called Ghost Town, and I found the remains of that, and I found all of those wonderful dark green pieces I used for that mock. These are what I'm gonna, this color and a lot of other dark greenish colors, sand green, that color right there, that color on the ATAP, dark green and sand green will all be used for this forest area right here. So I'm really happy I was able to find these pieces, and I was able to find the old ghost town, so I'm really excited about that. Something else I found while I was digging around was definitely this piece right here. They don't make this anymore. This is like an Indiana Jones set, but I'll see if I can get my hands on a few more, because these would be great for the mountain area right there. But anyhow, I found these, and these plates right here are absolutely wonderful. They are very useful. However, you know, this base plate you're seeing right here was used on my Coruscant mock, which I made almost 2 years ago now. It was a matte mock because it was solely gray, and color, you should always have more than 3 colors, not 2 colors, especially in the grays, because it really subtracts you know, the vehicle. If the turbo tank was just gray, or that AT-AP or the gunship was just white, if it was just one color or 2 colors, then it would just seem very bland and boring. You never want to do that. So coming on over here, you know, again, this Republic Dark Red, we're going to definitely use that big time in the mock. It's going to be something a color I use to really balance out the grays, as well as, you know, dark green. I take a look at these mock the Lego sets we've gotten, and I'm going to use the color scheme used on, like, for example, the turbo tank and like the gunship, so that the base feels like it is, you know, Republic-y. You know, you don't want to, if you're building a city, you want to match the color to a real city, or to whatever the vehicles or whatever is going to be inhabiting the city. You want to make it all flow together, is basically what I'm trying to say. So never do what I do and just grays, blacks, and more grays, because it's just going to be too gray and it's going to look over gray, and yeah. So I don't suggest doing that. Right, so anyhow, however, these parts right here, I'm going to balance this out with a lot of other colors, but these parts are going to be very handy. You might also notice this right here. This is one piece. I use this for, again, the Coruscant mock, but what it is doing is it is it's using the snot technique, which means studs not on top. And this is a technique we will be using, especially for the flooring, maybe even right here, maybe like in different colors. Imagine that right here. So it's definitely a technique we're going to be using for this mock, and I can't wait to get to using it and show you guys how it works. It's very cool. It's a very nice technique. It saves you money on tiles if they're expensive for what you're looking for. Yeah. Alright guys, so that's going to do it back here. Over the next week I'm going to do some more building, especially with that crane, and see if I can build a second crane and actually get it connecting between the two, and we'll see how that looks. But again, I want you guys to comment, you know, should this be widened? I am very unsure. And the battle rifle over there will be removed, I promise, by next week. Just got to get it hung up on the wall over here. Alright guys, let's move on to some other stuff. Alright guys, so at the middle to the end, I showed you guys the Kashyyyk wall, building some of it. And I just want to show you that is what probably about the final, not height-wise, but the curvature of the wall is going to look like. So I am actually pretty happy with how that's looking. And, you know, yeah, you see all of that back there, but what's actually going to happen is this entire, getting rid of this right here, starting from right here all the way down right here, it's going to be completely built upwards. So this wall is definitely not going to be the center of attention. What's going to be the center of attention is what's going to be a future door right there, and like giant mountains right there. Trust me, I am imagining in my head right now, and it's going to look really cool. And with this wall right here, I'm really happy with actually how it came out to look. But I'm having a problem, and I'll show you guys how we're gonna fix this. I showed you guys my final concept that I want to use for the full Kashyyyk wall. What I had done is I had taken 2 of these basically and put them together to make that. However, that uses a lot more pieces than should be required, because if we look behind it, it looks just fine like this. And so what's the use of using extra parts when you don't need to spend more money where money does not need to be spent? So my question is, would you guys think, you know, making this, we're gonna still like have this, like basically just removing this part right here, taking these 3 bricks all the way down out and just having a flat layer of dark brown. What do you guys think about that? I want you to also add that to the comments. I'm not sure about doing it, but I want to see what you guys think. If you have a better idea, let me know. Another thing is, you know, this wall has to be supported by something. You have all of this action coming in here, and you have all this firepower. These walls could, in reality, these things could just like fall over like they're nothing. So what I'm probably actually going to do is build some fake supports. You know, maybe like kind of down here, like kind of like going down like that. So, you know, that's just an idea, and only put it on a few, but it might make it look a lot better. So just an idea. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that as well. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about this, about the Kashyyyk wall. So yeah, just want to show you guys what probably the final wall will look like. Obviously not final, but curvature. And I think it looks really good. You know, if we stand back pretty far, it's definitely looking really cool. Obviously, it's a big center of attention right now because everything else is one color. And then you have this giant dark brown wall sitting in the middle. But trust me, that'll definitely change when we start getting everything going in the front. It will definitely not be the center of attention. But I like the whole concept of the Kashyyyk wall. Loving it. And it's only the beginning of a lot of really great concepts I have plans to come up with. Alright guys, that's going to do it. Let's go ahead and end the video.
Alright guys, so you just got off design part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed some of the details we definitely dived into, especially in the back of the base where we talked about some more gray parts, and how, you know, if you have so much gray, it honestly is going to be overloaded with gray. And so you need to mix in colors, and for this purpose, you know, Republic color dark red is a great example, as well as some other colors like the lime green, yellows, dark reds, dark greens. It really adds with the gray to make everything stand out. And you know, when we start putting in more details in the base, we start getting those little engines and those little nice little details that really make a base pop. Is where color is absolutely key. If you're using gray everything, yes, it might be able to stand out if you're using the correct building techniques, but at the same time, it's an overload of one color, and you don't want to ever do that. Otherwise, everything's just going to look blended together, and you won't, especially from a far away view, you won't tell what's what. The person would literally have to go in and see what the difference is. So color is a huge thing. Don't overload on one color. Always stay in a mixed variety of colors, at least 3 or more colors if in one area needs to be used. If you're using the same color all over the place, it's going to look so bland, and that's something you always want to stay away from. It's a really important tip that a lot of mock users use when they're building big mocks in general, buildings, anything of that sort. So it's something to definitely really pay attention to. Alright guys, so next week we're going to continue with design. I'm actually going to finally get to order these bricklaying parts, especially for the Kashyyyk wall. So we're going to hopefully have that finished up. And actually, I sort of started experimenting on some of the sloping and how I want to do that. And I don't have the exact colored bricks I want to do for the sloping, but I do have some bricks to give me some ideas on where I want to go with that. So I'll definitely be doing that over the next week or so. Very exciting. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you came off learning something. Again, that's a big thing that I'm trying to do with the series, so that you become a better Lego builder at what you do, building Legos. It's a really fun thing, and I think we all want to be a better builder. So guys, if you did enjoy this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. That's a huge helpful thing, as well as subscribing. Definitely stay subscribed, because you'll be able to get future weekly segments right to your account on your front page if you click the little subscription button. You can also get, I was told that you can also get email updates if you select email updates with your subscriptions. You can do that as well. If you don't see your subscriptions up on the front page of the YouTube, you can always get email updates as well, because that is definitely 100% going to work as well. You just have to check that on your account in your account settings if you are into that. Right, so again, leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this, guys, as well as comment what did you think, what techniques would you like to see from me next. What do you think about what I discussed in this video? Is there anything you would like to comment on? Let me know. I look at all comments. I'm trying my best, and I'm reading through everything. So if you think your comment doesn't get read, trust me, it gets read. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I am spending hours through comments and looking at what everybody's saying so I can make this series better for you guys. And that's about going to do it, guys. Stay subscribed. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe, comment, and again, like the video, guys. So without ado, guys, I'm going to leave it off on that. You guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in next Friday's segment. And yeah, bye-bye, guys.